Hello, Equal Equals here, and today I'd like to break down the track in my last video. The inspiration came from a couple of factors. One factor being I'm already out of sampling memory. The second is I also wanted to continue to show what makes this device unique and interesting. So for that, I look to minimal composers. And one technique minimal composers use often is having instruments play the same notes but at different bar lengths, creating a phase effect which makes the piece continue to evolve. The track begins in E minor, but then by the end it changes to G major. So the first step would be setting your scale. You can do that by pressing Shift and Erase to get into this menu and typing 312 for scale. Enter, and now it's in minor. To select the key, you once again press Shift and Erase, and then your desired key. According to the manual, 324 is E. Once I had selected the key I wanted to be in, then look through the different samples that were already in the device. This is the main wind sound that I looked for, and if I press sound, it's just the Flute 360. The song begins in eighth notes, but I originally began composing it in triplets with this pattern here. I've just played around until I found something I liked. And after I had recorded this, well, first I recorded in just the eighth notes here. Using timing, I simply punched them in section by section. And then I went through and changed the timing to the triplets. And the quicker way to do it is simply copying over the pattern by creating a different scene and then using shift timing to put the eighth notes into triplet sections, at least the ones you had already, and then adding that extra note to create the triplet. And after I found these two parts, I went back, and the sound I use for the bell, which I can find here, 524, which is high pan. So in order to copy over the notation quickly, all you do is press Shift C on whatever group you want to copy, and then click over to where you want to copy it to, and then Shift D pastes it in there. And if you press it twice, it does the whole pattern instead of just the bar. So for the first couple of bars, I actually keep them pretty similar and just going back and forth, changing the reverb to give a different timbre. But on pattern 3, which I'm on, I also bring in the bass. Which is the cello sound on 530. I even keep this at a normal pattern looping length, I think. Let's check. Right, it's just 1, 2 over 2 different 4-beat bars. But on this next pattern, I bring in drums. And the triplet I was talking about before. While the flute plays the triplet, the bell stays on those eighth notes. of sound is on a 3-bar loop, where the flute is on a 4-bar, which start to create that phase very subtly. With the drums added, it's hard to notice it. So this is just a hi-hat. This is the kick. Sound 19, which is cardio kick. And it's the same process that I keep on doing over and over again. Right, next. Right, you get the 8 notes going, or the triplets going. Once the bell type sound begins to play the triplets, it cuts off the bass, creating a more driving effect to the beat. But even here, the handpan is at 5 bars, where the flute is still again at 5 bars, which, if you listen closely, it creates a phasing pattern. And once again, I take that triplet pattern and I add one extra note. But first I copy the scene and use shift timing to change it into the next denominator that the patterns can break it down to. So now it's 16 triplets with this extra added note. And then the handpan begins to follow. The same thing with the bass. Still an E. I think the drums come in here. Here I added extra clap. It was very subtle. I didn't want it to take over. I just wanted it to slowly build over time. The longer you play the pattern, the more it deviates from the original. Everything before this is in 4, it's counted in 4/4. But I wanted to create longer, faster evolving patterns, so I hit main and tempo and changed the way it counted to 8/8. And this is when I began to start introducing G major notes, which can be done if you go into shift timing, which can be done if you hit shift erase and type in 327. Now it's in G, and now I want it to be in major, so I hit shift erase 311. And I just do the whole process over again, but in timing of 8/8, while also in G. And I just slowly shift those sounds around, so it becomes this ever-evolving pattern. And of course, to get that groove, I also added this ride symbol. 246. The toaster bell. And that's pretty much how I built a minimal track. There's a lot more ways and interesting ideas I intend to build. Hopefully we can get ways to back up projects because I only have 2 more open spots. But